call it the medium or not. The research isn't good. The background, the information isn't good. It's not worthwhile. And so, yeah, consciously, I mean, I don't want, quote unquote, the smoke. I don't want to debate you. Truly do not. But you got to do better. You can do better than this.
Yeah,
you can't just blame TikTok all day for the medium. It only allows me to do so much. Get off. I mean, yeah. I want you to eat. I want you to do well and, spread truth, but you're not doing it.
The thing I would say is that I wish that, consciously watches this, someone else watches this. Cite books within your rants. Like, if you're at the end of your rant, you're like, you want to read more, give people like 3 books to read. Because like that's, Ezra Klein does on his podcast, what 3 books you're reading.
Some TikTokers do give that. They give straight recommendations and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you give 3 books, then maybe I can miss, then you give 3 books to calling people hard-headed. Then we may be at a point where we're like, things are better, My name is Thomas Brown.
Irvin Bryant.
Shout out to DJ for making our beat.
At DW Made That on social media.
And follow us on social media.
That's at Kinda Woke on Instagram and Twitter. Relatively Conscious everywhere else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, retweet, mentions, all that. And let us know, are you in the TikTok mix? Do you have the app? Are you active on it? And Tony has recently acquired the app.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
I don't have it, but we're both keenly aware of certain aspects of it because, the internet cannot be contained. It will not stay in its place. It will invade your life, regardless of how you try to get away from it. So on Instagram, on Twitter, those apps that we frequent, TikTok still make it on there. And the videos are short, shareable, this, that, and the other. They get screen captured,
snackable,
sent to the other apps, and all their filth from that app has just bubbled up into my good and wholesome Twitter. It's really a shame.
They're snackable. That's a problem.
It's really consumable.
Yeah. If Quibi wasn't such a dumb idea,
right?
They are what Quibi's want to be. Yeah, a little snackable content that you can do in a Quibi. Which what? Call your app Jiffy. Anyway,
but look, my point is, they have debates on there.
Yes.
Okay. So like any other sphere, I'm on Twitter. I follow political people, religious writers, authors, things of that nature. I got all kind of different intellectuals on there. We can talk about history on my Twitter. We can talk about what happened yesterday. We can talk about literature, discourse. It's a good time.
When Kanye's going to release the album ever.
Hip hop. Lots of hip hop on my Twitter. Thank you for filling in that blank.
Yeah.
Same thing on my YouTube. Okay. Lots of different discussions. Pretty much the same flavors, though. Then this app that I don't have for a good reason tries to do that. It tries to have the discourse. And let us know in the comments, not only do you have TikTok, are you vibing with TikTok, but are you having arguments on TikTok?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that may be a good idea.
It's like the Facebook comments. Remember back in the day, the Facebook comment section used to come like toxic very quickly. Like,
they still do.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. They
I'm
still
just not on
do.
it anymore. But like, I don't know, 5 comments in, then we're talking about Nazis. That's all it took. 5 comments.
Oh, yeah. Escalates. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah. Also, you're okay with the Holocaust. What? I didn't say that. Yeah. It's like the debate you and I did in college. We're both college debaters. We were partners at one point. So we did a couple of tournaments, won a couple of times. But anyway, it's the same type of deal, but like it's our the debate that we do is supposed to be scholastic, supposed to have a educational achievement for why you're doing it. It actually can be a debate argument that what you're arguing is not educational. But TikTok throws all of that format, all that Greek-ish, but there's also, a Eastern world, a history of forensics too. Takes all that and just throws it out the window. And it's like, nah. We're gonna do it on TikTok. You got a minute to get your argument out, and that's it. But while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and be about it. And I'll show you a minute, 40-second clip of what we're talking about. Do you want to give the characters who they are real quick?
Yes. We have a TikTok Gen Zer. Shout out the young knuckleheads making the waves in the game.
Yes.
And she puts forth a wild just I don't know. She just says what she says, and she's not really. I don't know if she's inviting an argument, but an argument comes to her.
Yes.
And then a famous TikToker, Instagrammer, who is now blue check verified, consciously George Lee, public speaker. He does diversity trainings, and he's a public school teacher.
He also did our type of debate too. He won tournaments doing our type of debate.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
collegiate debate.
He did collegiate debate. Not independently verified. I don't really care, but he claims to have championships. Sure. I just thought about the fact that we never checked on it, but like whatever, man. He has championships. Good debater in college. Yeah. So we got 3 people: regular guy, seemingly championship debater, and a Gen Z young person. And let's see how this devolves into chaos.
Madness.
Friendly reminder that if you're white, your ancestors abused, raped, and ate my ancestors, and you still systematically benefit from it.
Hey, how are you? Firstly, my ancestors are Scandinavian, so we had absolutely nothing to do with the North Atlantic slave trade. The people that we murdered, enslaved, pillaged, and stole from were white Europeans. Secondly, a lot of white people died to set slaves free in the USA. What about the descendants of them? Are you categorizing them in with your little speech? Also, you're getting systemically and systematically confused. You said systematically, which means done in accordance with the system. What you meant is systemically, which means throughout a system. I guess that's all, but thanks for your time. Firstly, my ancestors are Scandinavian, so we had absolutely nothing to do with the North Atlantic slave trade.
Firstly, I know a bald-head ass lie when I hear one, and you started off your video line. Scandinavians and Atlantic slave trade between the late 17th century and the first decades of the 19th century. Scandinavians participated in the Atlantic slave trade like other Europeans. Secondly, when you bring up this shallow-ass reference of the white folks that fought for the Union, this don't mean they was fighting for slavery. They was fighting for what Abraham Lincoln said, the preservation of the Union. Here go 4 states in the Union that still had slavery. Thirdly, the damn 13th Amendment is supposed to be the piece of legislation that freed the slaves. However, if you read the fine print, I know you know how to read. It says, except for punishment as a crime. It is not coincidence that the descendants of slaves are most likely to find themselves punished as a commitment of crime. Fourth, back to this lie you started with. Scandinavians actively participated in the transatlantic acquisition, transportation, and settling of Africans to the Americas and within the Caribbean. Step your research up, man, because this little distinction you're trying to make about systemically and systematically, I'll dunk on you in a debate on it, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We tried to warn you about the cringe, but let's get into it. Let's give you quickly the meaning behind this torture that we subjected you to as a viewer.
So, first question: what is this? Why?
What just occurred? What just occurred?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what passes for discourse. One on the internet, which we already kind of knew, but I don't know, something about the video format. Something about the gravitas, the self-aggrandizing of the way the arguments are made makes it particularly cringe, makes it particularly offensive, and the fact that it sets itself up as debate. The comment section, as far as I know, was only referred to as a forum for debate by the worst offenders of the comment section. So debate me.
You mean on Facebook and like YouTube?
Right. Yeah. The debate me coward guy. Nobody likes him. He's a joke, right? But this, like, consciously is blue check verified. So
from doing this, I mean,
this is pretty much his bread and butter on the platform.
My question becomes why though? Like, so like if consciously does diversity training, there's those other things that are very good. And even her comment that she made to Gen Z at the beginning, like, why do we do this? Like, what's what's the goal?
Right. And so that's why I'm like, I bring up, we're focusing on consciously in particular, because this is my gateway to this world. I followed him because I saw like, oh, he's making conscious, quote unquote, black content on the Instagram app. We're trying to make something similar, right? Video content. Let's learn from those who are popular in doing it. And just over time, though I have learned, things about how to promote the video, etc. not so much about the discourse. I don't know how much I can learn from consciously about actually conducting oneself in a way that educates, that demystifies, that gives a catharsis and reprieve to those drowning in the deluge of racial, ideological, cultural war BS. I don't think he helps with that. and so yeah, the real question is why? Is it for clout? Is it for self gratification? Is it to win the culture war? I'm. It's not for the purposes that we're here for, right?
Yeah. And so, real quick, if consciously happens to come across a video, which I don't know, maybe, I'm like hating on him. I'm not hating on him. You know, making money, black man, do your thing. The way that TikTok is set up, this is the only way you can like, I don't know, do this like well enough to like actually get followers. I do feel like platform TikTok itself kind of facilitates this this style of debate, and it pushes you towards the most what's with them, the way you can do that rouse up the most emotions in people, right? So like, how do you get people to react the hardest? It's the only way. It's the best way to do this on TikTok. Like doing a boring new one, doing Ben Stein from like Ferris Bueller Day Off, where I'm like, you know, in whatever time period, the Swedish, you know, people, they enslaved people, like, you know, very boring about it. Nobody wants to hear that. Like no one's trying to like, you know, watch that content. Cause like if that's the case, I'll read a book.
Yes.
Anyway, but like nobody wants to read a book though. Like reading a book is not fun. It's like I came on TikTok, so I didn't have to read a book.
Right. Okay. So let's reverse though. Let's reverse for a second. Okay. Just to establish debate. Here's what it is. If I may be so bold to just define it. Okay. You're gonna have a discussion, an examination of two ideas on the most level playing field possible.
Yes.
Okay. It's an educational endeavor to determine the truth of one particular statement. One side will negate, one side will affirm. Pretty universal.
Yes.
Okay. Not objectivity, but objective truths, objective facts. Truth is the agreed playing field. Without that, it's really worthless. A level of decorum is necessary.
There's this thing called for like when you don't do decorum. What's it called again? When you're like ad hominem?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the many ways you can break decorum.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what's all these things that I'm describing are things that we're not doing in this video.
Yes.
And like you said, it's not about consciously or this gentleman or the young lady that starts the argument off. It's, I think, a problem, like you said, with the platform, but you want to have to wonder, is it worth it? Is this what we want to do? Act consciously. This time it's like, for real. Like, I don't know if I want quote unquote the smoke, but like I don't know if this is educational. I don't know if this is productive. Yeah, when we start a quote unquote debate with all white people are beneficiaries of, are responsible for my people's suffering, non-specific.
Yeah.
Right. The first thing you do in a real debate is define terms. Not going to do that. Just skip it.
Yeah.
Then we got this European gentleman over here hopping in, defending his people against a young person. I don't want to say teenager. It looks like a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
We also look good.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, you much older. You seem a lot more serious in what you're saying. Not to say that she's an unserious person, but that her argument isn't a robust one. Right? Yeah. She's just talking, just tweeting into the void, as a millennial would say. Right?
Yeah.
She tweeting into the void, and you said, no, you will not disparage my ancestors in this way. Let me prove it. And then here comes consciously, you a bald head lie, like, bro. Okay, so we've got a lot of sins, a lot of debate sins being committed. We've got very simple, very thin claims being made, not intended to be a debate. Then we've got someone taking it seemingly too seriously hitting you with a pretty thin historical argument on top of that. It's just a little more substantiated.
No citations.
I mean, no. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? It's TikTok.
Where's the card? Urban, where's the card?
Then you got Conscious Lee coming behind him. Smooth ad hominem. I mean, the throughout, just disrespectful. I want to fight, picking a fight, and using quote unquote fighting words. And what we're not showing you is that this debate goes on. There's videos upon videos. They do what they call stitching on TikTok, and they was replying. So you see how Conscious Lee is side by side with the guy.
Yes.
They go side by side, talking to each other, and eventually culminates in a mess of a live chat that they do to hash this debate out. And they're all trash. Not to say that these gentlemen are trash, but the debates, the product is not good. I learn nothing.
Yeah, and so one of my problems is that like educational, like this was meant to be educational. It doesn't achieve that goal. Like I guess if you hear a nugget, then hey, that's education right there, But like I really feel like the nuance, there's no book chapter and verse cited here. Like give me if you say Jesus saves, can I at least get John 3:16?
Mm-hmm.
Can I at least get a little bit of Matthew here and there? Can I get some Acts? I get none of that. It's just immediately this guy, the Swedish, they had slaves, and then it's a screenshot from what source? Like, of course, I'm not accusing of love consciously like being fallacious in the sources, but like my question is like, okay, that could be Breitbart. That could be Breitbart. For all I know, it could be a Breitbart article. Where's like, where are you talking from?
And actually, you said you're not claiming it. I will take issue. It may be the medium, like TikTok is a medium of quote unquote, and this is Consciously's catchphrase, research over me search. Like research used to mean I read a book, I was cross-referencing, I was digging through the archives.
Not a book.
I got deep into it.
But like not a book though, because like you took an actual research class, which you took an actual research class.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, for the casual person, I know that a researcher, and that's the only refuge that word has. That's the only usefulness it has anymore is for a serious researcher of anything. Right? Yeah. Academic, professionally, or like as an intern or whatever, pre-doctoral. But for the layman, research means nothing. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, I did my research on that coronavirus vaccine. So you watch Plandemic.
Yeah.
You watch, what I'm saying? Like it really means nothing. And for Consciously, unfortunately, my man does his Googles. That does not constitute research. Even if you're doing Googles on Google Scholar, that does not constitute research, right? Because if you know anything, which I think he does, honestly, about, digging up some scholarly, the fact that you found one doesn't mean anything. I can find a scholarly journal right now to say global warming isn't man-made, isn't caused by human influences. We know that the consensus is 99% accurate, or 99% consensus, in agreement that is not true. It's the opposite is the fact. But there's research funded or just research conducted. I mean, it doesn't even have to be foul play that finds the opposite. So you can always find, and like you said on Breitbart, a counter narrative, thinly supported research, an opinion piece that I got it off from the Atlantic though, so it must be legit. I got it from New York Times, so it must be legit, but it's an op-ed, right? It's too easy to do the internet, go back and forth. I have proof, you have proof. Show a screenshot and not substantiate anything. And call it a debate, call it historical research, call it whatever you want to frame it as. And when you do that, the audience is lost. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know who's telling the truth. One person calls the other a bona fide liar, based on what could just be a historical misconception. So call it the medium or not. The research isn't good. The background, the information isn't good. It's not worthwhile. And so, Consciously, I mean, I don't want quote unquote the smoke. I don't want to debate you. Truly do not. But You got to do better. You can do better than this.
Yeah,
you can't just blame TikTok all day for the medium. It only allows me to do so much. Get off. I mean, I want you to eat. I want you to do well and spread truth, but you're not doing it.
Yeah, because like if you told me that like Les Miserables is about the French Revolution, that's a misconception. It's about the second French Revolution, right after Napoleon leaves. But like, I'm not gonna be like, that's a lie. You lied. Like I'm not gonna call you that because like I know that's just a common misconception. It's okay,
I did not know that. I've never seen Les Miserables. I 100% assumed. I thought we was talking Reign of Terror, Robespierre, all that. You really had me going.
It's the second one, yeah. Or continuation of first. It depends on how you. There you go. Research right there, because some people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some people say.
And then you start getting into history.
Yeah,
you start getting into historiographies. You start getting into narratives, counter narratives.
Yeah,
like you said, the nuance is entirely absent.
Yeah,
and the definitions entirely absent, because you're talking about who's responsible for what constitutes participation in the slave trade, et cetera, like these two gentlemen do. Failures.
Yeah, or even like the conversation like about the Civil War, who fought for what and how many people fought and like all that stuff, like the border states. There's like 4 or 5 different history concepts of why the border states were allowed in union and were allowed to have slaves. What did Abraham Lincoln really want? I mean, we can look at his journals, his writings, but like it's between him and God, and I don't know, because it just really depends on what you thought it was. I mean, besides like the hard facts, like Mississippi and South Carolina segregated because of slavery, right? Like that's in the Constitution. That's hard facts right there. But like everything else, when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it, it can get real like tenuous on what exactly we're talking about here.
And let's be real. Like you said, in a real academic, real researched, scholarly way, when you have these disagreements, people do have debates and discussions, panels on stage in a formal debate setting. Love that. Love to see that go down. You got like YouTube channels like Intelligence Squared, where they have video chat, real debates, but their videos are at least an hour in length, and they have experts in whatever field, and they give them uninterrupted time, which is another key thing in debate that consciously does that. Smooth pisses me off. About the other stuff is like, okay, I don't like it. You shouldn't do that. Finger wag. But it's like, dude, if you're a debater and you constantly interrupt people and do the ad hominem, you're ugly, you're bald, you're old, you're whack. Like, this for shame, to be honest. Like, it's just you lower the name of debate as an activity of intellectual rigor, as an exercise that's going to improve the mind of both the audience and the participants. You strip it away from all those positive aspects when you behave that way. So
real quick, someone's gonna hear us talk about this and they're gonna say, these niggas are being pretty. They got the powder wigs on.
Yes.
They got the tea in their cup. They talking about the forensics, the Greek. They let women debate in forensics and back in the Roman days, the Greek days.
Yeah, in the forum.
Yeah, the forums. Like, why should I listen to this? Like, that sounds like Eurocentric concept of what debate should be, and I'm trying to hear it. What's your response to that? I know someone smooth heard us talk about this and had their response.
There's better ways to do everything, or anything. And so I can put together a bookshelf. I can follow IKEA instructions.
Yeah.
Right. Will I make the same bookshelf as a craftsman, as an artisan, as a carpenter? No, I won't. Yeah. My stuff will blow over. The varnish, the finish will be garbage. It won't be level.
Yeah.
I just can't make the same thing. And that's what they do. I believe in expertise. I believe in specialization. I know the internet really democratizes and strips away the importance of that stuff. But there are people who do this. And as one who does this, and I'm looking at someone who claims to be one who does this consciously, who's supposed to be some kind of debater, supposed to be a champion. He knows. You should know. There's a way to do this. Like, and the crazy thing about debate is, because I've been doing it, or have done. I'm not in it right now. I have done it for so long. is you realize that these rules, like functionally, once you start breaking them, it doesn't work anymore. So once you stop measuring it before you cut on your bookshelf, it just doesn't work. And I'm not saying that like, oh, the Eurocentric way is absolute. No. Different cultures have brought, especially in America. Shout out America for being special. Different cultures have brought a lot of different excellent aspects to debate when it comes to the rhetoric and how we perform, different philosophical approaches from around the globe. Incredibly fun, incredibly dope. But you got to do it right. You got to have some order. I mean,
it sucks. I believe, I don't know. I believe people who do this, no, it sucks. Like the people who do TikTok, unless they've tricked themselves, lied to themselves, they know that what they're doing is like, it sucks as a debate format, as a way to deliver truth to people. But why still do it? Like, is it about the money? Is it about the getting? Is it about getting the follows, the likes, the streams? Because that's what it's about. I mean, I guess, but like, why still do it?
Yeah. So yeah, you ask why they would do this you asked me first as a point of conjecture, like what do I think, and then you're now posing it directly to them, and I think the question is warranted to ask of everyone. Why are we doing this? Because this clip here is emblematic of a lot of problems. That's why we chose it, not because it's the worst, because there are worse examples, but like why do that? And the impetus, I think, is really good example of there's a Bible verse in Proverbs that talks about arguing, suffering fools. Like a wise man doesn't do that. If you get down with a fool, you yourself are made to look foolish, right? A lot of popular wisdom, suggests that this is true. But this is what the app is built on. This is what this is built on. Most of these arguments start with like this young lady here tweeting into the void. I'm mad at white people because X. I'm mad at gay people because X. I'm mad at straight people because X. It doesn't go anywhere because it wasn't intended to go anywhere, right? We've just got a lot of people arguing about like quite literally nothing. And so, yeah, why is the ultimate question? Do you feel good dunking on these people? Do you feel like you're helping somebody?
Yeah.
I don't know where this is supposed to go. I just know that it probably only makes things worse. As we've seen, excuse me, I always have to excuse myself for saying this. Polarization, the P word.
Yes.
Yeah. It's only gotten worse. And I'm like, you got to know you're not helping this by calling this man bald-headed. I mean, he knows he's bald. You pointing out what could be a point of insecurity for him and questioning his literacy and then calling him a liar simply because he believes his ancestors weren't implicated in like one of the greatest tragedies of human history. Maybe cut him some slack. Maybe just have a regular conversation. I mean, he literally just was like, no, I disagree. I don't think so. And then, bow, you stupid. Bow, you bald-headed. Like, okay. And then it only gets worse. It only gets worse from there. I will give him credit for being a little even-keeled, though. That could be that kind of backhanded compliment, nice, nasty kind of way. He's being genteel as a way of being caustic. No, cut it all out. You can, I don't know, just leave the TikTok alone. That's why I just don't have the app. Okay, it truly isn't worth it.
Is there let's say someone came to you and say, okay, well, I want to do bite-sized conversations where we have, say, okay, I want to do this where I can have debates and talk about political issues or historical issues and debate people on it who have different viewpoints. But I want to do it in a format that works with TikTok in a dual feature. What is the best way to do it? Because you only have so much time. So how do you do this?
In part, I think it's a bad idea. I'll be honest with you. I hate to be a technophobe, but I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the old person, but like it's not rich media, and actually it is rich. I mean, technically it's rich because you can see facial expressions, you can communicate tone, Of course, you can get the words across. You can
Yeah.
put visual aids. So it's actually technically pretty rich media. If I'm, excuse me, all my comm people for using your language. But technically media richness, you can put a lot in there. It just has a limited amount of time. But it's being used in a way that isn't rhetorically rich. It's really rhetorically poor, or it's not filled with effective rhetoric. And so I guess if you really are invested in constructing a solid argument and conveying it with nuance and compassion, knock yourself out. But it's just know that you're not gonna the algorithm and the short media format isn't trying to help you in that.
Yeah.
And Twitter, same problem. Facebook, all the social media just isn't the place. It's not made for that. I would hate to discourage someone from trying to contribute to truth and engaging in fruitful dialogue. I hate to be like, no, don't even try. just let social media burn. We're doing it and we're not famous for it. So
the thing I would say is that I wish that consciously watches this, someone else watches this. Cite books within your rants. Like if you're at the end of your rant, you're like, you want to read more, give people like 3 books to read, because like that's Ezra Klein does on his podcast. What 3 books are you reading?
Some TikTokers do give that. They give straight recommendations, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, if he gives 3 books, then maybe I can miss. Then you give 3 books, start calling people bald-headed. Then we may be at a point where we're like, things are better. So if I'm the Swedish guy, let me cite 3 books of why I say what I said. You cite 3. And then, now if I listen to this, I'm like, well, who's right? Crack open a book. Let's read. Let's find out, Anyway, my name is Twins Brown.
Irvin Bryant.
Peace.
Do it to him, D.